So, we're doing soldering. I'm going to show and explain how. So first, you need a soldering iron. Then, you need one of these little braid things so you can clean off the oxidization. Once you do that, you need some solder, and you need to tin the tip, which is a little harder to do on this one, so I've got to scrub it again. It's really just like steel wool on a pot. Like it's that should look, that should be good. Now, you don't want to be doing this in an enclosed room like I am, because, you know, you're inhaling fumes of literal metal, so not optimal. Anyway, you have your board. You put a little bit of flux, be that the cheap stuff or the really fancy, unnecessarily expensive stuff, on your board. See that? How it's beating up? So now, you take your tinned soldering iron, you press the tip against the hole, not for long, because too long and it can burn it. It can burn off the, it can burn just the layer, and see, now you have a little bit of solder. And it like sticking to whatever is tinned, right? So, you can just do it, you can do it on this hole too, say. Now, if we take this wire, you can see, okay, come on. It can, but, okay, well, these Bakelite boards suck. That's why, if it'll focus, the pad ripped off. It didn't focus, which makes me very mad. So you gotta be very careful. Bakelite boards are the least forgiving, thus that's what you should probably practice on first. But if I add more flux, I dip the wire in flux, I get melted flux on both, because flux is like an accelerator. It's like almost like a well, it's like something that cleans off the oxidization on the copper in the wire, and that cleaning off the oxidization allows the solder to bind with the copper, thus allowing it to stick. Now if you solder two things, you can do that. Okay, well, I hate Bakelite boards with every bit of my being. Let's see. Do I have a broken laptop logic board somewhere that I can do this with? Because those are infinitely more durable. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to sacrifice the old NVS 310. So, this is a motherboard, as we all know. Well, no, sorry, this is a PCI card. This is a old NVIDIA GPU from like 2013, and this was low end even when that came out. So first, flux, right? Then, melt it, and you press your soldering iron against it. Of course, my soldering iron sucks because I got a cheap one. And you melt it, and then you can apply more solder, like that. You don't apply it to the soldering iron, you apply it to the point you want to melt it to, and you want to bind to. It's just better to do it that way. I'm gonna try again to, ow, stupid. And sometimes the flux will boil. Okay, I tinned the tip. Anyway, press it against that, it'll melt. And you don't need to do it hard. You press it lightly. You can feel it liquefy. It's like hot knife through butter in a sense. So, and this soldering iron is not even hot enough to do what I'm trying to do. But like, you can melt more solder to it. Now you don't want to hold it too long because it'll damage the board, especially if your board's been in a humid environment, because then moisture can build up between the layers, and then heating it caused the water to evaporate, breaking the board. So now you can take your mysterious wire of mysterious origins and you can melt it to that point. Now I can dangle the board by it. Now you can victimize your iPod and replace its battery. My iPod's mint condition though, because it doesn't have the black spot of death. So that's like the most basic thing, and once I find my equipment, I will show off how to remove solder.